Hi, how are you all doing? So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to build a Docker container by using Docker build command. In my previous video, I've shown you how to create a container with a very simple operating system with a name Alpine. Alpine is a very sleek and slender operating system, Linux-based operating system, and I've shown you how to pull that image from the Docker Hub and then create a container. In this video, I would like to talk about a very new concept called Docker build. So Docker build is actually a method to create the containers by using a very interesting file, a strategy called Dockerfile. So what is this Dockerfile and how to know? I suggest you to go to online. I think you can reference builder. This is docs.docker.com/engine/reference/builder. So here you got very nice information about Docker build. You can there are different ways to, and I think wait a minute, yeah, Docker build, and here you see here somewhere you'll find just like this, here in the format of the Docker file. So to build a Docker container, we need to have a file called Dockerfile, and this Dockerfile is a file without any extension. That's it. We just have to create a file. Maybe in a Linux operating system, we can just create a file without having any extension. In that file, we'll put some statements, and these statements are instructions to Docker as how to configure a given container. So I cannot talk much beyond this. I'll be speaking to you here. There are certain, this Docker file is a file in which we are going to put some Docker statements, and there are different types of statements here. I think if you scroll down, see, these are all the statements you have. From we will try to start writing the statements from the very first statement in the Docker file will be from, and this from is actually an image. It refers to an image from a particular image, and then run is a command which is useful for us to run a command inside the Docker file. CMD is again a command which is, but what is the distinction between the run and CMD? Usually one typical difference between these two commands, run and CMD, is that run is executed during the time of creating the, Docker executes this command during the time of creating the container, and CMD is executed after, when we are running the container. So running the container is not this run. So run is a command which we write in the Docker file, and that whatever we write after run command is being executed during the time of creating the container. Docker creates the container, so during the time of creating a container, this command is being executed. And CMD is a command which is executed when we run the container, not while creating the container. So that is the difference. Expose is another command which is also very, very important in case if we would like to this is very useful command whenever we work with web applications. And in this video I'm not going to show you how to create the web application. I'll just show you how to create a very simple Python application, which is like command line application kind of. There won't be any user interface in this application. Another command, env, is useful to define the environmental variables, and you also have add. This is actually adds the resources from the local file system to the Docker container, and we will be having two different arguments. One is source, the other one is destination, and then so actually the copy is another command. We also can same way we'll do that, but there is an extension to the file system of the container at the path to destination. from source and adds them to the file system of the content. Instruction copies the new files or exits from the source. I think one principal difference between the copy and add allows the tar files and compressed archives and also URIs, but whereas the copy does not allow. That is actually one of the differences between this add and copy, just like the difference between the run and command. So you have, and then there is an endpoint, entry point. Entry point is actually the executable. Suppose if we are using Java, we can mention here some programming languages like Java, Python, Ruby, or whatever it is. And then there is another thing called volume. This is to mention the memory location. Suppose we want to create a volume in the Docker file, and that volume need to be, it's just like a disk space kind of thing. We're just going to earmark some amount of memory as a form of disk inside the container, and for that we have to just we'll just create a directory, and that directory will be treated as volume. That's it, nothing more. That is bigger with the volume. And there are so many things here, like there doesn't require much of a lot of things, but I covered most of the instructions that we use inside a Docker file. Now coming back to the this today's application, that is about do you remember actually in my first video I think I created a toilet container called, I actually pulled a container called Hello World from Docker Hub, and I've shown you how to play around that. That is just a container which throw information to the terminal and then and exits. So I'm also I'm just going to show you, I'm going to create a similar kind of container in this video, but using Python. So I can even use bash, but I can use echo command. So without much I think I have to go to my old I should be having no, I don't have that. I deleted it, it seems. Okay, sudo mkdir and then docker work. Okay, that could be. So I'm using Ubuntu 20.04 20.04 operating system for my now cd docker work. Okay, so this could be a better place for my. Now here what I need to do is I install a utility called tree. That would be sudo apt install so that it is easy for you to understand the paths whenever I. So here let me, I think I installed it. So when I use tree here, I don't have anything. The path is very clear. pwd, this is my path. So this is a directory for my work. Here what I need to do is actually I'm going to create the container at this location, home hello docker work, something like that. Now the container is going to be a very simple container that is just a Python container, that's all. I'm not going to use any operating system here, just like Alpine, Ubuntu, Fedora. I'm not going to do that. So we should be having a container Python. So if you go to Docker Hub, sorry for spelling mistake. So here if you search for, I think I have some version of Python in my, yeah, you got just like this, you got the containers available from the hub. So before it is better to use Python to know the version of the Python, that is 3.8.5. so that is what I'm going to do, mention in my Docker file. So what are the files I required? Number one, Docker file. Number two, a Python application, that's all. So first let me create the Python application. Sudo gedit. I like gedit because it looks like Notepad in Windows. I call it as main.py. So that's how we create the Python. So here I have to think I had to add a statement here, excuse me. Actually I always forget this, that is about the user bin bash. I don't know, let me see once again. I think that should be, yeah, this one, the pound sign apostrophe, so user bin Python. This is, I always forget this, user bin Python. This is actually the required statement in any Python script. Suppose if you want to, this, even without this we can run the Python file. It is not a big thing actually. In Ubuntu, Python is recognized, but in most of the Linux systems, whenever we would like to execute Python scripts, it is better always to add this statement as a header. Okay, this script is just simple. I'm just going to print a statement that is hello world. That's it. So that's all. So this app is not going to do anything wonderful events. It's just going to print a simple plain statement hello world. Like, let me close this. Now I got the Python application. I don't call this application, this is just a simple script. And now I need to create the Docker file. Okay, Docker file, capital D, it should be uppercase, D should be the uppercase letter, Docker file, that's it, without any extension. Now here we need to take care of, so I need to, what is the image? It should be Python, I think Python 3.8.5, that is actually the, so any Python 3 can do well, we don't need to, but this is, you can just mention Python 3, it doesn't matter, like, okay. And then the other statement is going to be, I wanted to add that my main file, so which I created from here to here. I mean, this is actually add, as you have seen in the beginning of this video, I've explained you two commands, add and copy. Both commands, we need to mention the source as well as destination. So I'm creating the container from the same path, I mean the existing location, so I don't need to write anything like, you know, / or anything. My main.py is there, file is there in the existing location, so source is main.py and the destination is here, same path, copy. I mean, this is actually the destination inside the Python container, so whatever the, I mean the default location, there you just copy, that is what I'm telling. And then run the command, that is, suppose if you have any, I don't want to run the command, I just want to go for the command, and this command is a list of arguments, and the first argument is going to be Python 3, and then the next argument is going to be main.py. So that is how, so I'll just tell you what is this. So let me, that's all, these are the three statements I require to run the container. The very first statement, this statement is, you know, I want to create a container, a Python container, and then I want Docker to copy or add the file, the Python application which I created in my present location to the any default location, whatever it is inside the container, and then execute this command. So this command is actually, when we run the container, this is going to be executed, and then that will execute the application inside the container, and then the results will be, so save this and close this. So now tree, so this is actually, I have two files, Docker file, this is the tree structure, and now we can go for, so how do we build the container? So to build the container, let me first look at Docker images. I already have an image, Python image, I think Alpine and Python, yes, Python image is there already with a tagline 3.8.5 something like that. Oh, this is a tag actually, not the images, so I don't need to worry actually, so because I already have the container. So what it does is it's just going to update this container if I build the Docker file here. So this container, okay, if you don't have this Python container already, if you don't have this is not the container actually, I'm extremely sorry, this is the image. If you don't have this Python image in your system, then Docker is going to pull that image from the Docker Hub, and now it is not going to do that because I already have that image. I don't want to delete it because it will take time. So in order to save the time, I'm just keeping the container. I'm sorry, I'm talking container always. It is an image. I'm going to keep that image as it is to save the time, so that Docker will not download that image from the Docker Hub. Now what I need to do is one final step: sudo docker, okay, build. So please we got T, and then your really name, like I want to call it as Python dash app, and then where here. So do it here. So this is what precisely I need to do. Let's see what's going to happen. When I press setting build context to the Docker daemon, error response on Docker file pass from requires either 1 or 3 arguments. No, I don't think. So there is a mistake in our sudo gedit. So what should be the Python? Why it is showing me Docker file from Python? Yeah, that is what. Let me say 3.8. Add main. Everything is okay. Python 3 main.py. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see one more time. Sudo docker build t python app. I'm extremely sorry. Actually, the mistake which I did was this. There was a space in between. It was just like this. So that is why it is giving me the problem. That's okay, fine. So now this command, this particular command you see here, sudo. So after rectifying that mistake in that Docker file, and it could successfully create a container, sorry, image, sudo docker build -t python app python dash app. Now we should be having sudo docker images. You have Python app, you see. So my earlier one was Python, and now I got the Python app. Wait, now how I'm going to run it. Okay, sudo docker run Python app. So now let's see what's going to happen. Python 3, yeah, again there was a mistake in the Docker file image. I'm sorry, I'm doing so many mistakes. I think this should be double quotes. I think, I don't know, or maybe Python, I guess. So anyway, you got an opportunity to see, because here it shows like Python 3 not found, kind of. Okay, fine. So we learn by mistakes. So I need to build once again. So this is how we build it. Okay. So using cache and everything. Now sudo docker images. Yeah, I got the Python app 10 seconds ago. This is the ID. Now let me see if I run this. Yes. So that was the mistake. So I did 2 mistakes in this tutorial. The first mistake is I put a space between Python :space 3. So you should not have the space. And the second one, you can't use single quotes. You need to use double quotes in command cmd statements. The statement in which we use command cmd in Dockerfile. So this is a simple Python application. Now what I do is, so I've done a lot of mistakes. So this time I want to change my Python application, and let's see what's going to happen. So I go to this time what I do is sudo gedit main.py. I change my application. I import, so that I avoid a library called random. It is a module actually, it's not a library. Okay, whatever it is, it's a random. Now what I do is I want to your lucky number is, okay, and then plus here I want to use that a command from that module, that is random, nothing, it is just going to create that's it, random, and I have to close my bracket, and this should be string because I'm going to concatenate, I'm going to combine a number with a string, and Python is going to, so now I'll show you what it is, what it does. Now in bash, I mean in Linux terminal, if I use Python 3 and main.py, this is what is going to happen. Your lucky number is some number, some kind of number, okay, some gibberish. And now I want to create a container. So how will sudo docker, same process. We don't need to change the Docker file. Sudo docker build -t and then docker file. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Oh, again there is a problem. Repository must be lowercase. Docker build build docker build build t. Yeah, it should be, it is docker will help, that's it. See? Okay, docker file, it's not docker, I'm extremely sorry, Python, and then app, and here, so I'm extremely sorry. Now everything is okay, so now let's run it. You can also check docker images, and you see none, and all these are actually the replications of this Python app. Okay, so now if I use sudo docker, yes, nothing is running. Sudo docker ps -a. Oh my god, so many, there's a lot of log information regarding runtime activity of docker. Okay, now sudo docker run. So what is run? Python, sorry, Python app. Let's see. Yes, your lucky number is 7. So this is very simple way of creating a container, and I demonstrated how to deploy a very small Python script. I call it as an application. So this video tutorial demo. So to conclude this session, I have demonstrated as how to create a small Python app using Docker. I created a container for a Python script, and I also ran that container. That's it. That's for this tutorial. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and please stay tuned for the new content. Kindly subscribe to my video channel.